There we go. She will follow me. Follow me wherever.
Which means I'm going to hijack it at some point.
At some point. That happens. You're a terrorist. You're a podcast terrorist. Going to hijack the show at any moment. Remember, look happy.
On More Joy.
On More Joy. Why, look, here we are. Welcome to the More
Hello.
Joy podcast, where we not only look happy, we are happy.
Definitely.
Where more joy is the thing.
It is the thing.
That's right. We don't endure, we...
Enjoy.
That's right. Because why not? Right? I remember years ago. Remember we all talked about this? I don't know why this is popped in my head. This is all free. We'll get there. I remember I used to always complain about mowing the grass. You remember that?
Oh, I remember.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I used to have a bad attitude, Jacob, about mowing the grass. And I'd be out there and just rucka,
Yeah.
this stupid grass and rucka, and going on. And finally I felt like God talked to me and said, hey, listen, son, you're going to have to mow that grass anyway. So you might as well mow it happy, because you're still going to have to mow it. And then I would remember my loving mother's words that she would always say. She'd say, well, son, you can get glad in the same britches you got mad in. And I was like, you know, God, I think I'll just choose to mow this grass happy. And it literally shifted my whole perspective. And not that I fell in love with mowing the grass.
No.
But I had a whole lot more fun while mowing the grass.
That's right.
Because I realized I can mow this grass happy, or I can mow this grass upset.
Yeah.
So it behooves me to mow it happy. So there you go. There's your free motivational tidbit for the show, for more joy. But today, we as always want to thank you for joining us. Thanks for clicking that play button and watching one more time the program. Thank you very, very much for all of our partners who help make this program possible. And as well, if you would like to support the program, go check us out at thehollimans.com, and you can buy some of our products that are out there. Our really fresh off is our marriage course, our foundations of marriage. We've literally taught that all over the world and have seen just the truth of God's word help people go, oh, okay, that's what we're supposed to do. So it's out there, great for people wanting, again, we're going to be talking about dating some more. So for those who are dating and want to be married, for those who are in premarital land, I guess if you will, what do they call that? Comprometidos. What is that?
Engaged.
Engaged. I lost the English word for a second.
That's okay. I come to the rescue.
You come to the rescue. And so, for those that are engaged, but also for those that, again, are like us in the sense of I realize I never want to stop working on my marriage.
Right.
Right. That I'm never going to come to a place where we arrive.
Right.
And we never have to keep working on our relationship.
It goes from glory to glory.
It does.
But
through effort.
It is intentional.
It's good, positive, intentional effort.
Right.
So that's out there. We have some great stuff that really is, to me, kind of like our hidden gems. It's our parenting toolboxes. They're out there.
Yeah.
And then Celina's first book of 3 on parenting in the little years. So if you'd like to support the channel, you can become a partner, or you can just go on and purchase some of the stuff we have created for your enjoyment and your benefit. And that would be awesome.
Yes.
But we are going to, I think, land the plane on dating.
That's right.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's been such a fun time. And as I've been coming up with the titles, I've cracked up because it's like how to have a godly relationship and not lose your mind. Because we're flooded with so many different things, so many ideas, ideologies, so many different cultural patterns and habits that are just not healthy and are not biblical.
Yeah.
And so, what is biblical then? And that's why we're here.
That's right.
We just wanted to bring some light to this and lightness to this whole thing, because it doesn't have to be scary or helter-skelter or, well, we'll see what happens because we have no clue. You don't have to go through life that way.
Nope.
And much less any very important relationships that way.
Well, something so funny, things become such a habit.
Yeah.
And they should be for all of us. We talk about that all the time. It's our daily habits that truly build us. It's not the big moments in life. It's not the big decisions that make or break us. It's truly those seemingly inconsequential yet daily consistent things that we do that make our life, make it a success or make it a not success. I don't know, or not enjoyable. Make it enjoyable or make it not enjoyable.
That's right.
Maybe that's
Very
a better way
good.
to say that. But with that is, we've over the years, because of where God took us and the people that trained us, we were always taught to ask, well, what does the Bible have to say about that? Mm-hmm. Now the fancy term is, well, what is the biblical worldview about that? It's all the same thing. What has God already said in his word about that? And to examine every aspect of life with that question in mind. Well, what has God already said? Before I start asking him for anything mysterious or unknown, why don't I start with what is known, and then we can go from there. And we just develop that as a habit. And it gets so common that it's so funny. We were hanging out with some friends, recently, and I just started saying, well, the worldview about that is this, or the Bible says this, the biblical worldview is about that. And they were like, whoa, Brad, the what?
Hold on.
I said, the biblical worldview, what's a worldview? Well, that's how you view the world. Yeah, right?
Your filters.
Your filter. So do you have a biblical worldview or do you not have a biblical worldview? And we were just taught. And I was with these friends for a number of days. And it was so funny because they were hosting me during the ministry time. And that's all we talked about. And it got to be where my real good friend, he goes, well, Brad, what would be the biblical world? And he started in a good way picking on me, going, well, what would be the biblical worldview about that? And then I think, well, it would be this. And he'd go, wow. And then even still now, he'll text me, hey, what's the worldview on?
I love it.
What's the worldview on this? And guys, listen, ask those kind of questions. Mm-hmm. What does the Bible already say about this? Now, I'm going to have to address this because it kind of came on because of where our shorts go.
Oh.
Our little reels and stuff, because I post them on TikTok and some of the other social media. Yeah. And we got our first controversial replies.
Nice.
And that also, I'm going to give a little thing. You know what that means? That means we're saying something. That's awesome. When I like it like this. If you never have any resistance, you're probably going in the wrong direction. Yeah. You know what I mean? So anyway, so folks were like, well, the Bible, this, and they were talking about. So when we talk about this, the Bible for us is God's final authority on all things, for all people, for all time. And I'm not sure where you might be in watching this, and that may not be where you are, but that is where we're coming from. Mm-hmm. So please comment. Yeah. I love the conversation, right?
I love the perspective that he who designed us basically left a manual for us about everything. An owner's manual. Mm-hmm. And so, there's, I've heard parents say, well, those kids didn't come with a manual.
Yes,
I beg to differ. They came with a manual.
Your life came with an owner's manual.
Well, that woman you gave me, God, she didn't come with no manual.
Yes, she did.
I beg to differ.
She came with a manual.
She came with a manual.
And that crazy man.
Oh, that crazy man.
He came with the manual.
He came with the manual too. I just want you to have the experience of God's love for you. He loved you so much that he made you. Yeah. He created you.
Absolutely.
He formed you, all of your intricacies, who you are, and he loved you so much. He's like, and this is how you work, and this is how you will enjoy life the most.
Yes.
But when we don't want to go through with his design, then things don't work. They, it's like me using my high heel as a hammer all the time. Yeah. I'm gonna ding up the wall and wreck my shoe. And so it wasn't designed for that. Yeah. Right? Let's go and get the right thing. That's where we're coming from is he's our designer. We might as well align
go with the design.
And go with the design.
It's like putting, again, you can't put diesel fuel in a gasoline engine or vice versa. Bad things happen. You could. Like the tank will hold the fluid.
Yes, it will.
It just won't work very well, right?
And it might explode.
which is anyway. So I will go with that. So with that, we're going to talk and land on the concept of what we call dating. Again, dating for us is the active process of choosing a spouse.
Right.
The skill set needed for that is the ability to make and keep a promise, as we said in the last episode. But now what we have to look at but we're talking about choosing a spouse. And I always talk about this. I remember, I'm a movie guy, so I like Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. Did you ever see that one, Jacob? Indiana. Yeah, Sean Connery, Harrison Ford, the third Indiana Jones. Man, these younger generation, that's what's wrong with this younger generation. Right there. They missed all the good movies. So, but in this, there's those who've seen Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, that's your homework, Jacob, for next time, is, he's going, and part of the movie, he bumps into one of the sage-like characters, and this man looks at Indiana Jones and goes, "You must choose, but choose wisely." Right? And guys, listen, we get to choose. I chose Celina.
And you chose
wisely.
Good.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I was saying that to say this, God didn't make me marry her.
No, I didn't make you marry her.
God, exactly. She didn't force me. I didn't force her.
Yeah.
There was a choice that was made.
Yeah.
Because love is built on choice.
Yeah.
It's not love if there's not a choice.
Correct.
Right? That's why God gave us a free will as humans. Right? Is because that way we could actually, honestly love him, because we could choose him or not. Right? And so I chose Celina. Now, do I believe she is the best that God could have brought into my life? I believe that. Do I believe that God was active in my selection of her? Absolutely. Do I think I did this all on my own? I ain't that good looking, nor am I that smart. Right? And so
I think you're that good looking, or I would not have said yes. For the record. You're welcome.
What we're talking about here is because, like all things in life, we're not talking about choosing in the absence of God. I don't know why we as Christians want to default to that.
Right.
That if I say I choose, I somehow left God out. So then we say stupid stuff like, well, God made me.
Oh, man.
Or God forced it. Or God
That's
whatever.
Not the kind
That's
of God
not it.
he is.
I do all things with him because I would be a dummy if I didn't.
Yeah.
So he is involved in all I do, but he did look at me and go, "Brad, I ain't marrying her. You are. Do you want her?"
That's right.
Right. That's why, again, and we don't have time fully, that's why I don't believe in the concept of a soulmate. That there is one cosmic person that God has made for you. Again, I'm going to pick on poor Jacob here again. Jacob, there is not a singular young lady out there that God has said, this is the one for Jacob. Because here's the thing. What happens if Jacob picks the wrong one? He causes a cosmic train wreck where now you pick somebody else's spouse, so they're forced to pick somebody else's spouse, and then they're forced to pick somebody else, and then they're forced, and the only way to get this right is everybody's got to divorce everybody's wife and get the right one. Well, listen, that's silly. That's just, as my mama would say, that's just ignorance gone to seed, right? That's just dumb with a lot of multipliers on it. So what did God do? God said, listen, I will lead you. I will guide you in your choosing. Yeah. So for the balance of our time, I'm going to unpack. I'm just going to kind of cherry pick out of a chapter. But if you're wanting to do some deep diving, go look at Genesis chapter 24. This is the story famously of Isaac and Rebekah. If you're not familiar with who they are, Isaac was the promised son of a man named Abraham and his wife Sarah. Right? And then Rebekah would become his bride, right? That is there. And they're part of, if you hear anybody in church world say, he is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, this is that Isaac we're talking about. So this is the story, and I'm going to kind of put some Brad spin on it just for fun's sake, but I'll pick it out. But if you read the chapter, it says, now Abraham was old, right? So he was well advanced in years. It says, the Lord had blessed Abraham, And so Abraham wanted to get his son a wife. Mm-hmm. So he calls his oldest and dearest household servant, who was in charge of everything that Abraham had. And then it's interesting. And they make this interesting agreement. Abraham says, hey, listen, I think his name was Eliezer, if I'm remembering right. He says, hey, Eliezer, I want you to put your hand up on my thigh, and you're going to make a promise. Now, Jacob, I saw that sneer. It gets a little more... It was high up on Abraham's inside thigh, real close. And it was a type of covenant agreement that was very, very powerful, potent, and meaningful to that culture, right? It's like a handshake on steroids. You know what I'm saying? And so...
No, we do not have to do that today.
Praise Jesus. And so he goes, and I want you to swear, Eliezer, by the God of heaven and the God of earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I dwell. Mm-hmm. But you will go back to my country, to my kindred, and take a wife for my son Isaac there. Now we're going to hit pause. This is the first thing. It's reminiscent of what we said in the very first episode. The reason why it was a powerful agreement, this was not just a casual, kind of a strange sounding thing, is Abraham said this: she must be a person who believes like we believe, thinks like we think, comes from the same mindset, whatever you want to call it. In the New Testament, it's called equally yoked. Right. It's the Old Testament example that teaches us the only requirement for dating is they must be a believer.
Okay, not just a churchgoer.
Not just a churchgoer.
A true follower and disciple of Jesus.
Absolutely. A firm believer, right? A person of covenant. A member of the household of God, if you will, right? And so there was this promise. That's the first step. When you're choosing a mate, what is the top shelf thing? If you are a follower of Jesus, they need to follow Jesus like you follow Jesus. Now, hey, listen, if you follow Jesus from about 5 miles back, then just pick you another 5-mile backer.
Yes.
I just would encourage you not to get too much closer to Jesus, which is all tongue in cheek, because you should get as close as you dare, right? But hey, listen, but if you're a follower, you want this person to be a follower of Jesus, a member of the household of faith. Again, I tell young people all the time, Jacob, that means no missionary dating. Do you know what missionary dating is? No, it's not dating people on mission. Missionary dating is this. But listen, Celina, I'm going to lead them to Jesus. I know they're not saved. Right. I know they don't believe. Yet. But he or she is cute. And I'm going to be the one to bring them to Jesus. Yeah, I can fix 9 times out of 10. What happens is the follower ceases to follow more than the non-follower starts to follow. Now, I know you hear those exceptional one-offs of they got saved. Those, my friend, are quite rare. That is the exception, not the rule. Having pastored for so many years, what I have seen is when you break this first kind of observational requirement, is it goes really bad. It just really does. People end up with pregnancies they didn't want. People end up in divorces they could have avoided. People end up in all kinds of issues, and it's because they married someone who did not believe like they believe.
So if I can just encourage you for a moment, make sure that you're so settled in God's love for you that he will bring you more people across your path.
He will lead you.
Because there are more people out there. Sometimes when we choose someone or something that is not quite right, it's because deep down we have a belief that God is not that good to me.
Very good. Very well said.
That he doesn't love me that much. And so I'm just going to kind of settle. Because if I don't snag this one, I ain't going to get one. And I just encourage you, really bathe, if you will, in the love that God has for you. because he has so many amazing options for you. I tell my kids that all the time. They're all young adults, and I tell them that all the time. Guys, you know, it might not look like it around you right now, but that's okay. You're not ready to choose yet. When you're ready to choose, trust me, God has many good options for you because he loves you that much.
Yes.
So just whenever you're tempted to settle for something that you know is not quite right for you, just make sure that you go back to, wait, but God loves me. And he is going to bring me many different options. Yes. I just felt that for someone today. So if you're watching and you feel that, just really bask in his love for you.
Absolutely. And to realize that there is something worse than being single. It is called being married to a person who will vex your soul.
Yes.
Right? All throughout the Old Testament, God tells Israel, don't marry non-believing folk because they will be a thorn in your side, a prick in your eye. We might say a pebble in your shoe, right? So again, I agree with what Celina says. God will lead you and guide you, as we're about to read, to wonderful options.
Yes.
So let's continue because our time is bumping here. I think I took too long on the front end, so I'm sorry. So
you go right ahead. You're doing so good.
Thank you. So anyway, so they make this covenant. It established, hey, listen, this is it. They got to be a believer. So then Eliezer, he goes, okay, great. He goes, right? And he travels back to Abraham's hometown, his area. And this is where the God piece comes in because Eliezer, again, realizes I can't make this choice alone.
It's a big, important
choice.
It's
a big, important choice. So he starts to pray. And this is what he says. God of my master Abraham, I'm here to choose the bride for my master and his son. So would you please send me a young lady, now this is key, who will willingly offer me a drink of water, and she will water my camels also. Now, if you read through, and I've done some history over the time, he probably had like 10 camels with him. Right? A thirsty camel, Jacob, did you know a thirsty camel can drink anywhere from 40 to 50 gallons of water at a shot?
That's a lot of water.
He's saying, hey, listen, she's going to give me a glass of water, and she's going to pour out about 500 gallons of water for my camels.
By hand.
So now, here's it. He prayed. So again, please hear me. Do we want God to be involved in this? Yes. Everybody should shake their head yes. Should we pray and say, Lord, lead me to the right person? Yes. Everybody should shake their head and say yes. But Eliezer didn't pray for the pretty girl. He didn't pray for the wealthy girl. He didn't pray for the talented girl. He prayed for a girl that wasn't afraid to work.
And serve.
Because Eliezer knew my master's vision will require a strong work ethic.
Yeah.
Listen, God's vision for your life is going to require a strong work ethic. So you don't want the lazy guy. You don't want the lazy girl. Jacob, you don't want a lazy girl. Right? You want a hard-working young lady that is willing to serve, that is willing to be hospitable, that is willing to go beyond the extra mile. Because why? Because you can do something with someone who's willing to work. You can't do anything with someone who is willing to not willing to work, or someone who is entitled.
Yeah.
It's huge. That struck me from this story, and for time's sake, we're going to stop there and we'll pick back up next time. We'll have to do one more.
One more. I think it deserves one more.
It deserves one more.
Just getting into some really good stuff here.
So, but listen, guys, he prayed for the worker. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we grew up hearing minister stuff, and they would always tell us, hey, you young ministers, you need to be careful of the gold, the glory, and the girls. Those are the 3 G's they warned us about. Don't touch the glory, don't touch the gold, and don't touch the girls, right? Those things will, and I agree with those. If handled poorly, they will mess your life up, right? But there's a 4th one, right? You don't want the lazy girl, right? You don't want the lazy person that's that close.
Who's not willing to engage fully with the plan and the purpose that God has for you. And
not willing to, like you. Now, again, here's the thing. Now, there's the flip of the coin, right? I can't be lazy and go, that's it, that's right, God, give me a girl. It wants to work so I can sit on the couch and she can bring me sandwiches and Coca-Colas and I can watch the football game while she gets out there and supports me. And we're not talking about that either. So this is not a give me a slave.
No.
This is, hey, again, Eliezer's like Abraham's household. They were a household of workers. Right? They had a big vision, a big call, a big dream, and they were busy about it. I mean, you just think of Abraham, he had animals and properties and servants and people to administer. It was a full, it was a corporation in our language today. He had like a Fortune 500 company. And
it was all hands on deck all the time.
So Isaac needed a CEO caliber lady that wasn't afraid to get her hands dirty. So again, must be a person. How do I choose? How do I pick my mate? They must be a person of faith. They must be a person with a strong work ethic, which means they have a strong character. Right, and we'll pick up more in the next ones to come. Again, hey, check us out at thehollimans.com. If you'd like to send us an email, you can write us at info@thehollimans.com. Feel free to leave comments at the different social media places where you may find our stuff. We will answer them as quickly as we can. The more direct route is through that email. But guys, we love y'all very much. And thanks for watching this, and we will see you in the next program.
See you soon.